Hi guys, Andy May here. Welcome back to the channel. I do apologize for the lack of good lighting. I look like oh, it's on this side. I look like I have a black eye, I guess the way the shadowing is happening, but don't worry. I'm honestly just being too lazy to move my computer so that the lighting is better. We had a half day at work today. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I figured I could go ahead and film some inventory updates. Excuse me. I'm trying so hard not to cough. I've got like some chest congestion. But anyways, moving on. I wanted to talk about my inventory, kind of go over the numbers for 2016 and then get in the numbers for 2017. I kind of don't even want to talk about the 2016 numbers. Honestly, I went down in every single category. Everything is green. I went down. The only thing I didn't go down in was eyeshadow, and I mean, to be honest, I was given the Tardis Pro palette my husband got me for Christmas, and then my daughter got me a couple quads, so I couldn't help but those go up. Everything else I was able to get to go down some, so let's not even go over those numbers. The only numbers I will tell you is that I went down $1,426, and I went from 120 cruelty items down to only 21 in my collection, which I think is great. That's a major improvement. And I feel like I did a great job with getting my like hair care, body care, skin care, lotion and everything down to reasonable amounts. I kind of have like what I'm using and maybe 1 or 2 backups, but I know like no more than that, and it'll be used up in a couple months. So I've gotten those down to a point where I'm not going to log and keep track of those in 2017. Plus, working full time, I don't honestly have as much time to worry about those numbers when I know that I pretty much have that under control. So let's just go ahead and get into the 2017 inventory numbers and my goals. I tried to film this the other day when I was filming the project updates, but I don't feel like I had a good flow, and when I watched the video back, I was like, oh my god. I was like all over the place and wasn't wording things the way I wanted them to be, so I'm going to do this video over. That's what I'm doing now. So I had also filmed a 2016 inventory video and then a 2017 inventory video, and I basically said the same things, so it was kind of annoying. So we're just going to do one video. I feel like I've said so about 10 times in the last 2 minutes. So there we go again. Let's go ahead and do this. I did switch my primers from just an overall primers category to an eye primers and a face primers. I have 5 primers in each one. Setting sprays are at 2, which isn't going to change. I have a little one and a large one. It's not going to change. Concealers, I currently have 4. I've kind of found my little combo that works the best for me, so eventually I would like to get that down to just those 2 concealers. I have 9 foundations, which I'd like to work on. Don't really need to purchase any more foundation, just kind of work through what I have. Powders, I'm at 12. There's a lot. I've got a double. I have quite a few that I'm wanting to pan for 2017, so powders is something that I'm definitely going to work on. I'd like to have possibly like a pressed and loose foundation powder, because I honestly like a loose foundation for those really simple mornings where I just don't feel like doing my face and I just want to like even out my skin tone and throw on some mascara and brow products. So I think I'll have one of each, and then I would like a pressed and a loose translucent. But beyond those 4, I don't really need any more. So I've got like 8 that I want to get rid of. For bronzer and contour, I have 23, which is up. I do want to compare a little bit of numbers. The beginning of 2016, there were 12. So I've almost doubled my bronzer and contours, but honestly, I don't really have a problem with any of the ones that I have. I do want to work through the deluxe minis that I have though. For blush, that also went up, but not by much. It went from 23 to 26. And highlight went up a lot. That was my like go crazy category. I went from 3 to 21. I have quite a few cream ones that I'd like to work through because cream products just don't last very long. Palettes, I have 21 eyeshadow palettes. I have a total of 55 like single eyeshadows or duos or quads and trios, and I have a total of 378 pans of eyeshadow. So more eyeshadow than anybody ever needs. I have 14 eyeliners. I went from having 32 at the beginning of last year though down to 14, which I think is pretty amazing. And a lot of the liners are minis and samples that got sent for free, so want to work through those and just kind of get down to my regular liners. Mascaras, I have 4, which is an okay number for me. It doesn't bug me. Brows, I have 6. I'd like to get that down to 4. I think I've said it before, I only want 1 brow pencil, 1 brow powder, 1 pomade, and 1 like brow gel. That's all I really need. Lip products are back up to 81. I started with 98 at the beginning of last year, so I've made a little improvement, not a ton, but I do have a ton in my project for next year to get through. I'd really like to get that number down to 50-ish. Kind of get rid of the multiple pinky nudes that I have, even though I love all of them, and kind of just keep it to where I have the variety, but not 20 different pink nudes. Nails, I'm at 37, which I started with 53 last year, so that's an improvement for me. I no longer have any of those nail vinyl type stickers, so I think that's where a lot of my progress came from. If you watched my products I used up in 2016, you'll see a ton of those. And my perfume is down to 10 total, and I had 4 at the beginning of last year, but I've just accumulated a lot of like Harvey Prince roller balls, so it's not a ton of perfume, but there's like a nice variety. I do want to work through some of them, but I'm not in like a major rush. So the item total for my collection is 335, so I'm going to start keeping track of that. My Cruelty makeup count is at 21. I feel like I'm going to start coughing. My Cruelty makeup is at 21, and my collection total, price-wise, is $3,114.47. You guys, I did not realize my collection had gotten that large. I mean, just in eyeshadow palettes alone, I mean, lip products, there's $489.80. That is ridiculous. I legit almost have $500 worth of just lip products. And until recently, I wasn't very good at painting them. Like, I tried, but I don't know. I think I'll be able to pan a lot of these this year, which will make me happy. I'm trying to get to my eyeshadow palettes because that's $858.20. Just an eyeshadow palette. It's not even the singles. It's ridiculous. So this year I do want to keep track of the money that's coming into my collection because I wanted to keep track of like how much I actually spend on items. Like I just got a Lorac lipstick, and granted the lipstick is worth $17, like that's how much you would pay for it, but I only paid $8.50. So I wanted to keep track of how much I was bringing into the collection, but also how much I'm putting out of the collection. So the collection total, the value of my collection could be greater than what I'm actually bringing into it if I'm using sales and like my points at Ulta and stuff to purchase stuff, because then I'm not actually spending money on the makeup, just my points. I wanted to go over some of the goals too for 2017. I do have them kind of written down or typed up on the next page, and it is for my inventory. I want to do quarterly updates with you guys, at least log it quarterly. And with my makeup, I wanted to see like how many products I had used through like on paper, because a lot of times like for my lotion, it would show like I would get, let's say I started January with 10 lotions and I acquired 2 lotions throughout the month of January. But I used up 3 lotions. In February, it shows that I only used 1 lotion because it doesn't show where it came into the collection, if that makes sense. So I'd like to kind of keep track of that, and I plan to keep the list inventoried and just kind of move it to its own little section of used up makeup. My budget, oh, and I want to do, sorry, I want to do quarterly updates with you guys and within my inventory. I may do it more often than quarterly, but I will update with you guys quarterly. My budget is $50 a month and no more than $600 for the year. So I plan on, it's on here too, I'm doing a no buy for January, and February. I accumulated a lot of makeup in December just because it was Christmas and I got a new job and there were a couple things that had just been like, plus all the really great sales that have been going on. I did end up boosting my collection by a few items, and I don't really need anything. I don't need anything, but I don't want to say I'm going to go on a no-buy for X amount of time when March is my birthday. So I'm going to go on a no-buy for January and February, and it's a replacement only, so if I magically run out of mascara, I can go and get a mascara. Or if I run out of all my black liners, which isn't going to happen, I could go and replace a black liner. So I have that in there because there is one thing I am worried about running out of, and that's a foundation powder, because I only have one that'll be done soon, within a week or two, and then I have one other, so I don't know how fast I'd go through it. So I just wanted to have that replacement only kind of thrown in there in case an emergency did happen. But really, there's nothing that I need to buy, but I wanted to be able to buy in March for my birthday. So my budget is $50 a month, so, but a $600 limit for the year. So if I don't spend money in January and I don't spend money in February, in March I can actually spend $150 if I wanted to, and throughout the year. But I don't want to bust $600 on my makeup collection, and that does include perfumes and nail items, so I don't want to go over that. And I want to save all of my points for Ulta until the end of the year, like when all the palettes are coming out and there's something that really catches my eye. I kind of want to just splurge and spend that money on myself, like in December, like kind of force myself to wait until December to get something, because I feel like the purchases I made this December were purchases that I'd kind of longed over for a while. They were items that I was like, oh, I really want this, and I thought about them for, you know, the majority of the year. For instance, the Tartelette in Bloom palette, I got that. I absolutely love it, and I had been eyeballing that palette since last Christmas. My husband got me the first Tartelette palette, and I'd just been eyeballing the Tartelette in Bloom before he got me the first Tartelette palette and after, so I felt really good with that purchase, and I used that eyeshadow so much that some of the Tarts that are imprinted on the eyeshadow are already worn away. So I just want to make sure that by saving that money from Ulta and not spending it here and there and here and there, I'm kind of accumulating it to kind of go a little crazy at the end of the year, but really not, because it's just point money, if that makes sense. Projects that I'm definitely doing for 2017 is pan that palette. I am going to pan my Lorac Mega Pro palette and project polish. I have 6 polishes that are cruelty polishes that I want to pan and I'm going to work on, and I'm going to do a products to use up in 2017, and with that one it's also going to be a quarterly update. There are actually 86 items that are in that. That's going to be the next video that I film for you guys. I'm looking at the items now. I just went through my collection in each category and was like, okay, I want to get rid of the deluxe sizes, the creams, the samples, and the cruelty makeup. So those are the things that I pulled. And if it was older stuff, I pulled that too. The cream stuff doesn't last as long. Although I love cream blushes and cream highlighters, I really don't need to have more than 1 or 2 within my collection because I have so many powder products that I like to use, and those don't really expire compared to the creams. So I'd like to just work through some of these things and clear out a bunch of these minis. I mean, out of like 10 liners I have here, legit only 2 of them are full size. That's ridiculous. There's just a ton of minis that I just want out and cleared out of the collection. I think it'll help bring my numbers down. It'll help bring my collection total down, and it'll help just make everything look a lot nicer aesthetically for me. So I will film quarterly updates for that project. And I also want to get back into doing the makeup baskets, and I want to do them weekly. For my Pan That palette, I want to do 1 week, 1 palette throughout the year. So 1 week I will use my Pan That palette. The next week I will use a palette of my choice out of all my other palettes, because I don't want to neglect all my other palettes just because I'm panning this one. And I don't want to get burnt out on panning it. I'm really worried. I've never full on panned such a big palette. So I want to be able to have variety and not burn myself out on using the same shadows all the time. So that's kind of my game plan with that. And I want to film those weekly also. So you'll have a 1 week, 1 palette where I kind of go over the palette that I've used. That's kind of going to be my Pan That palette updates, because you're going to be seeing that palette every other week. So you can see a week's worth of progress as we go. I'll talk about it. And then the following week I will talk about the other palette that I used. I do want to continue with my Instagram challenges that I've been doing. If you follow me on Instagram, it is andriamichelleray13. Andy May was taken. How rude. And I want to do 365 days of empties, kind of like Elle's 365 days of samples. I do have a ton of samples, kind of in a toiletry bag. And I want to do something with them, but I don't have as many samples as Elle to do like a full 365 days of samples. So I kind of want to just do 365 days of empties, and it will include like all my hair care, body care, the samples that I use up, even like the 86 products that I want to use up in 2017. Like, it'll include everything, but I'm only going to do updates for that on my Instagram. I'll kind of go, you know, here's products 1 through 6 that I've used up. Here's these products, and kind of like mini reviews, I guess, underneath. I guess I could continue doing the trash talk videos and just update like how many products I've used up in those videos, because I do want to use up 365 products this year. I think I definitely can with the 86 items here, plus like my project Use It Up challenge I did last year. I ended up using 52 products just within that project, so I feel like I can definitely do it. We'll see how long it takes me though. And I think that's it. That's everything. That's my updated inventory, kind of my goals for the year. I do want to be filming for you guys more. I feel really crappy that I haven't been able to film for you, but good news is I graduate out of training on the 9th. So my regular schedule starts on the 10th of January. So I don't have to be at work until 9:30. So I'm definitely thinking I will have time to kind of get up, get the kids to school, and film before I go to work, because I won't be able to film when I get home. It'll be too dark. And I could still try to film on my day off, because I have one that like rotates through. So I'll definitely be able to get filming again and keep a regular schedule going, which makes me happy. It takes a lot of stress off of me. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it is so long. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it though. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I do hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.